A new DPW facility is becoming a reality. In advance of the town meeting article, we are visiting the existing facility and also reviewing the proposed improvements. Okay, let's start at the top. How big is the new facility going to be?
The new facility is going to be around 40,000 square feet.
And how does that compare to what's behind us right here?
What's behind us is probably about total like 4 buildings equaling that, that one building would make 4 of them.
Okay, that's the existing building.
Yes.
Okay.
And that existing building is around 10,000 square feet.
Got it. Okay. What type of building construction is going to be used for this?
The primary skeleton of the building is going to be steel. So it's going to be a steel structure. And in between sort of these steel beams are going to be these insulated wall panels. So there'd be a aluminum metal outside, a piece of foam, that's going to be sandwiched in with another piece of metal on the inside. And so it's a very economical and very well insulated wall system that will allow basically these wall panels to interlock with one another when they're being assembled.
So it goes up quick once it's...
It goes up quickly, so obviously we can go into some of the construction details if you'd like.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so basically with this site, as you can see from the Arch Street side to the top, which is the rail trail at the top, there's actually a 30-foot elevation difference.
I see that.
And so we're going to bring down the top part of the site and bring up the front part of the site to make it a flat level area. So there's a lot of site work that needs to be done. Okay. Along that back wall with the rail trail is going to be a retaining wall. And so when we're looking, basically, maybe a little further down, this will come down just a bit, but the biggest change will be over in this area where a lot of that will be cut down with a wall to create a nice level area for the building. And that will be a lot of the work, actually, is the site preparation. And then a concrete slab, and the building is on top of that.
Okay.
So that'll give us more space for usable space too.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Great. So what are some of the important features of this new building? How's this going to work?
So the garage is going to be big enough for us to hold all our equipment in it. So the equipment will be inside, out of the weather, which will help it last longer. There'll be a new wash bay, which will be recycling the water that we use to wash the trucks with. So there'll be less, waste of water. So we're conserving water there. And the trucks will be able to get cleaner with the new wash bay. The mechanic shop will have new equipment in it for the mechanics. The trucks will have a new lift in it to lift up the bigger trucks that can't get lifted up right now.
Wow. So before, people had to just go underneath without getting lifted up. Yeah.
Well, and worst part is that in the middle of winter, when these trucks are heavily used for road work and salting and whatnot, they would break down. Literally, the mechanic is on their back with a vehicle on the outside working on it because it can't fit into the existing mechanic bay.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
And then the fuel system is going to be going to be kind of state of the art, where it'll be connected right to our distributor. So we won't have to reach out to our distributor to make deliveries. They'll automatically know when we need a delivery and deliver the fuel.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
Makes for much more efficient, flow of materials and communication with our vendor partners.
Right. Other features would be.
So one of the big things about this particular building, from an environmental standpoint, is that we're going to use ground source heat pumps. You may hear the words geothermal. It's sort of interchangeable. Original geothermal dealt, talking about the heat from the Earth's, core, but that's not that system. It's a ground source heat pump where they'll use either a loop system or wells to either dissipate heat or dissipate, or extract heat from the ground to heat and cool the building. Obviously, the large vehicle bays and things like that aren't going to be cooled, but these are cooling for the office spaces and the break room and the locker rooms and those kinds of things. We're also going to be putting solar on top of the roof of this building.
Of course. Look at all the sun.
I know.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful, it's a perfect spot for
Yeah.
solar. And so our goal, we can't guarantee net neutral, but we will certainly offset a majority of the electrical consumption of this building with the solar. And of course, the heating and cooling will also come from that electrical use because, you know, ground source heat pumps are electric based.
Sure.
And then we'll have better facilities inside the building for the employees. They'll have a bigger lunchroom, which we'll also use as a training facility for the employees. Bathrooms will be much bigger and up to code.
How many employees work here?
When the building's finished, because we're combining with the water department, we'll be moving here too. It'll be anywhere from 18 to 24 employees.
That's a big department. Yeah. Yeah. And how do the employees feel about this?
I think they're looking forward to moving into a new facility. They know what they have right now, and it's not very pretty in there.
Yeah.
So to have a nicer facility will be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the points I'd like to bring is that Robert has a male and female workforce. And right now, the locker facilities and the bathroom facilities, everyone's using them all together.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
No. Yeah. So where are you going to do your work while it's being built? What's happening?
So our temporary facilities, we went around town and found some areas to help the town save money for this project. So the main operation will be worked out of at 1750 where the recreation building is. They have room down there for us to have our offices and the lunchroom
Oh.
for the workers, and we'll park all our trucks down in the back behind it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's good.
And
Yeah.
then the mechanic shop will be down on South Street in the old fire station.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to use Central Street where the water department is right now for like our salt shed. Our snow plows will be stored down there. So we'll be looking at like 3 different locations to work out of to help the town save some money.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't even have to build a temporary location.
Yeah, and that's where the savings come from, is that
Yeah.
we don't have to build a temporary location. And of course, the challenge we had citing this particular building is that there aren't many spaces in town, you know, that can be used for such purposes.
Right, yeah. As far as citizens, how will this kind of impact our interaction with the DPW?
They'll have a better facility to come to, for one thing, but when they come in the front door, there'll be a reception area where there'll be the office manager for the highway department, and she'll be there to greet them and answer any questions that they have. So
it'll improve the communication and,
yeah.
and efficiency for all of you, and better working conditions seems to be the major reason.
Yes,
that
this is
we
going to
are-
be a much more efficient facility. One of the things with the facility is that it's going to be a safer one because it's just going to be traffic can only go in one direction. So there'll be less backing up.
Oh.
So when the trucks come in, they can only go in one direction.
Okay, that's important.
And I'd also like to add, and we can take a look at it later, but all of the vehicles that can fit, because there are more vehicles than fit within this one garage, but there's basically only one way out.
Right.
So every night it takes time for everyone to back in all their vehicles and shoehorn them into this small space. And there's efficiency loss there because you're
Right.
paying staff to spend half an hour, 45 minutes to park the vehicles.
Yep.
with
And
this
fuel.
And fuel. And now with this new facility, they literally just pull in one door and they go into their spot and they're gone. And that's
And then when they drive out, it's a one-way building.
yeah.
So they drive out the back end?
Yep.
Yes. So
Yeah,
they come
okay,
in basically
yeah.
on this end
Right.
and drive out the other
Oh,
end.
brilliant. That's
Yes.
perfect. Good. Well, thank you so much. Now we're just going to take a look around and see what it looks like.
Okay.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. So this here's our salt shed, which was built, I believe it was built in the 60s or early 70s. And at the time, I believe the state was giving salt sheds to all the towns because they all had the same type of salt sheds. This is literally falling apart. On the back side of it, we have old manholes holding it up because the back is pushing out. In the summertime, we store lawnmowers in here. Sometimes some of the trucks get parked in here if they're attached to the trailer with the lawnmowers, which they really shouldn't be stored inside with salt because the salt air is still eating away at the metal on the vehicles. So if you look, you can see the manholes that we were talking about that are holding the back of the shed from blowing out any more than it already is, because it's just all rotted.
That's a wooden structure.
Yeah, and you know, they used all nails back in those days to hold everything together, and the nails are all rotting. We've done what we can to hold it together, but it's still, I mean, you look at the whole building, you can see all the siding and everything is
Look at all
starting to
that.
fall apart.
Wow.
But also like to
Amen.
point out that you can see a lot of the equipment here, just because there's not enough covered space, is out here. The salt brine solution tanks and the pumps and the equipment that attaches to the trucks all has to sort of stay outside, exposed to the elements in the summer sun and those kinds of things, which you know, breaks down the plastic and you know, wears out the equipment even just sitting there. If you look, there are holes all in the roof.
Yeah.
You know, so we're storing
And it's
we're
raining.
storing you know, salt in here, but you know, rains
It's
on
raining
it.
on the salt. Yeah. So where will the salt be stored when this is torn down?
We're gonna build a temporary salt shed down at the water department.
Uh-huh.
Down
Like a
at Central, down
fabric.
at, yeah, it's a like a fabric tent
Oh, yeah.
that will store it down at the water department down on Central Street.
Uh-huh. So, Robert, tell us what it's like to work inside here.
It's very tight quarters to work in this building, especially in the wintertime, because anything that has a diesel engine in it, we park inside so that we know that it starts. And that's the majority of the big equipment, the big dump trucks, the loaders, and then we store the street sweeper in here in the wintertime, and all the small trucks are parked outside, exposed to the elements of winter and the summer. And there's probably about maybe like 12 big vehicles in here.
Wow.
In the wintertime, we wash the trucks inside of here.
Oh.
And on the other end of the garage outside is where we wash all that real heavy material off. And then we bring the trucks inside here to try to do a better job at cleaning them and get the other what's left over on the trucks off.
And you just have like regular old power washers. I'm
Yes,
seeing one right
yeah.
there. So the new system will be much,
Yeah,
how will
it'll-
that look,
it-
the wash bay?
It's going to be a drive-through wash bay, and there's going to be an undercarriage washer
Great.
built into it. So when the trucks drive in, the undercarriage will be able to get cleaned going in, which mechanics will really like. It'll help a lot, keep the undercarriage of the trucks, in better condition. Especially that's where all the brakes,
Yeah, the lines and everything.
Yeah, brake lines and everything are in there. Right now, this is how this yellow ladder, we go up that with the hose to rinse out the sanders. The new one will have like a balcony attached to the wall, so the guys can go up the steps, and there'll be a hose at the top of on the balcony where they can look over and be able to wash the trucks without worrying about this thing falling over or anything like that,
Oh, yeah.
and icing up.
Here's the employees area.
Oh, my gosh.
This is the guys' lunchroom and their locker room and tool storage, as you can see. And we store the road paint in here so it doesn't freeze in the winter. And then we have two bathrooms over there that each have one toilet each. And in the wintertime, the women's bathroom, the water freezes in there. This is what they have. They have a sink over here to clean any of their plates, and we have a couple microwaves and a couple of toaster ovens.
And there's a lot of people working here. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. I
Right,
don't
so
think
right
people
now-
realized how many.
Right now, there is 14 people that work down here.
So what's being worked on here?
The street sweeper is being serviced, and the other truck over there was just having some sander body work done to it.
You can see here that if these vehicles need to be lifted up to work underneath, you can't.
You can't
You
lift
can't.
them up.
The ceiling height is too low. So
Yep.
you can't put these vehicles on a lift, which requires the mechanic to be on their back on the ground,
Yep.
working on these vehicles, these larger vehicles.
Yeah, the small vehicles we can put on this lift here, but some of them also have height restrictions. Sometimes they can't get them as high up as they would like.
Yep.
So it'll be a much taller mechanic shop. It'll be a much deeper mechanic shop. We'll have a better parts room, tire storage in the mechanic shop.
Liquid storage, the
Yeah,
fuel fluids.
Fluids, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll be set up better for the mechanics to have a welding space too. So there'll be like a half a bay at the end of the mechanic shop where they'll be able to store all their toolboxes and the tire machines, and it'll be an area for them to do small engine repair and welding in.
Okay.
That room over there is parts. This is parts.
Yeah.
This is our fluid room over here where we store all the oil and antifreeze.
Oh, yeah.
This little room, and this floods out when we get rain.
Yeah, the water just comes
I
in.
can see that, yeah.
And then this room over here is where we keep all our chainsaws, leaf blowers. And this room here actually isn't a room. It's actually an old truck body, a box truck body that they attached
To the side of the building.
to the side of the building.
Okay, Yankee ingenuity, I
That's
guess.
right, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, my gosh, you guys. So who works in this area?
So who works in this area is myself. I have the back office back there, and then we have the office manager and the highway foreman that work in this room here.
Pretty tight quarters again?
Yes, it is. And needless to say, this office, believe it or not, has termites.
Yeah, if you look on the
Oh.
side of
If
the
you-
column
if you
here,
look
can
at
see
the doorway,
the
you can
doorway
see where the
frame,
termites
so
are
the
eating.
termites are all eating away through it.
And then we have termites from when they were treating the termites, the holes in the walls from when they were treating the termites.
Well,
When you come in and the floor is crawling, it's great.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
because they swarm.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah. Oh my gosh. Ugh. So when would construction actually start? What are you thinking?
Well, first,
know
we
there's a
need
lot
town
to-
meeting to approve
I know, yeah.
the funding for this project.
Exactly. Yep.
If the funding is approved this spring, and it's also has to go to ballot, which is the week after town meeting,
Okay.
then we will finalize the construction level plans by the end of summer, go out to bid in the fall with, construction starting beginning of the first of the year, depending on weather, but would probably happen in earnest about this time next year.
Be finished.
No,
sorry.
starting the construction.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Start.
So we'll finalize the bid plans
Right.
this summer, go out to bid, which is going to be for a project of this size, quite lengthy.
Yeah.
And then, get into contracting around the first of the year. And depending on the weather, whether they can start doing the work in terms of basically it'd be the starting the demolition of this.
Sure.
Robert has a lot of work to do to move his operation. And so based on all that coordination and timing, the actual, construction probably wouldn't start until this time next year.
So April, May 2027.
That's correct.
Okay. And then about how long does a project, you anticipate it being completed after that?
About a year and a half, 18
Okay,
months.
great. Okay, good information, thanks. Yeah. Robert, look at all this equipment that's just sitting out here in the wild. It's,
Yes, so
Yeah.
all the equipment that you see sitting out here will now be inside in the garage, or we also have built in a canopy for some of the equipment can be parked under our canopy. So it'll be out of the weather. That truck body there
Yeah.
that you see now, that's where we were, where all the chainsaws and weed whackers and everything were.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what
that
I was
thing.
referring to as the truck body.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and that's got to be like from the 60s. Oh, my gosh. Not to mention that you're using all those container units
Yes,
over
we have
there
the
to store
storage.
stuff
Right,
in.
we have storage containers over there.
Yeah. How many acres is this site then?
Altogether, what is it, 3?
I think it's more than that. It's
gotta be more
it's
than
like
that.
5 acres.
So if you take all this, if it's 5 acres and you do all this site work, you've got a lot more usable space for the new facility
That's correct.
to store all of the equipment and all of this stuff that we're seeing here, this materials,
Yep.
like the mulch.
Yep. And the sander rack where they hang the sanders, that
Mm-hmm.
we will not have that anymore. The sanders will be stored on concrete blocks next to the salt shed.
Okay. that's more efficient because otherwise you
Yep.
have to take them
Yep.
from here all the way down the
Right.
road to
Yeah.
the salt
Yeah,
shed.
and it'll be
Yeah.
easier now that we have a tool for the front end loader to pick up the sanders and just put them right in back
Okay.
in the trucks instead of hanging them off of chains, which,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to me is kind of a safety
Uh,
issue.
Again, more equipment stored outside, trailers stored outside, exposed to the elements.
Geez, this was really interesting, and I really appreciate you spending
Good,
so much time
eye-opening.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. And for Heartbeat of Holliston, this is Chryso Lawless.